So today is Saturday, the 27th of December, that we are all here this evening for this chanting. And then today, this evening, I got the very sad news that my friend's wife died suddenly. I was a bit shocked and a bit confusion that just 3 weeks ago, when I was in Nepal, she came to say goodbye when I was about to travel back to Thailand. So she came along with my friend, and we had a good time, probably about just over an hour talking. She was very happy, chappy, and talking very happily, so explaining about her life. So that was a beautiful moment, and her charming face, it was always memorable. And then I was told that this morning he and his wife went to a temple for the opening, or what's called unveiling a new book, as a reception for the new book publication, which he helped to edit. So she was there too. And on the way home, she felt not well, so she went to a bed without eating anything. And then she felt really bad, so he wanted to take her to the hospital. His hand is not strong enough because he has a problem with his right hand, and his daughter, still young, couldn't lift her up. So he called his friends, and due to the Saturday, his friends were busy other places, and he tried to call different people, those who have a car. Again, somehow they were in different places. Finally, after almost an hour of trying to contact different people, found one car and came about 15 to 20 minutes later to pick her up. Now, when she was taken to the hospital, just before arriving the building, she passed away. And that's how she lost her life. And my friend, who was my classmate when we were in school, and after I became a monk, I encouraged him, since he was good at typing. I always give him to type my books and articles. And later on, I encouraged him to join the Buddhist studies in master course. And I also gave him first a scholarship as well. And from that time, he engaged in Buddhist temples, went to meditation classes, and so on. And every time when I go to Nepal, he normally comes along with his wife. And oftentimes his wife also invites me to her house for the blessings. So it has been a long, close friends, and then somehow today she passed away suddenly without any warnings. So that's why Buddha always encourage us to reflect on this death, that never think that I am still young, never think that death will not come to me. But rather, Buddha always told us to reflect that death is just at the corner. It can come at any time, any moment. So don't be heedless, be mindful. And reflecting on this death actually is not a pessimistic, but a realistic, and also being prepared for it. Obviously, things that comes or arises, that must pass away. Now that is the clearest reminder of this universal truth, that when things arises, they must pass away. But the sad thing is that when we lost someone that we love, or that we are very close to, or that we have very good affection, that brings sadness. Although the Buddha taught that all conditioned things are impermanent, sabbe sankhara anicca, and yet when we lost someone who we have a good relationship or connections, then that brings the suffering, which again the Buddha said that piyehi vipayogo dukkho, a separation from loved one is suffering. And yet Buddha also said that our life is uncertain, but death is. So life has no fixed duration, and a death can come at any time without any warning. So Buddha always encouraged us to be aware of this death, and encourages the urgencies in the practice. It's called a samvega, right? Urgency, samvega. Now, despite this death that we have to face, one thing is clear, that as long as we haven't completely eradicated all the defilements, we still have to return back again. So in the Buddhist term, it's called chuti, which means death. And again, after that chuti, there will be a patisandhi, which is called rebirth, or rebirth linking consciousness. So as long as we haven't attained the enlightenment, then there will be these two factors taking place in our life. One is a chuti, the death, and the second, patisandhi, getting rebirth. Because rebirth depends on our action. Whatever intentionally we have done, then that will be the result of rebirth. But whatever intentionally we have not done, then that will be the result of patisandhi. So that actually becomes um, the seed or moisture to get us reborn again in different realms. Possible to be reborn as a human, as a heavenly beings, and not only that, there's a possibility of reborn as an animal or hungry ghost, or even lower than that is the uh, so-called hell realms. So as long as we haven't completely eradicated or uprooted this greed, hatred and delusion from our hearts and our minds, from the consciousness, so-called vijnana, we must reborn again and again. So that's why when someone dies, it's not the end of the journey according to the Buddhist perspective. It is just another transition, another dimension that one is getting rebirth. And will be reborn based on the karma that one has accumulated in this life. If someone has accumulated good deeds, then reborn in a good realms, at least be reborn as a humans. But if not, then there is possibility of reborn as a human, but less likely to be reborn as a human, but to lower than a human life. But in the meantime, if we cultivate good things and ability to improve ourselves, to fully abandoning or uprooting all the greed, hatred and delusion, all the defilements from our consciousness, then we attain the liberation. So that's why Buddha encouraged us, in a sense, not to feel frightened or fear of a death, but to recollect the death again and again, so that we will have less attachment to ourselves, less attachment to the other things, and there is a clarity about the life, and we see that the life is very fragile, and then living our life ethically, and then further on, the ethical life, we further on try to practice the Dhamma so that we can liberate ourselves. So, now this particular story that I heard today about my friend's wife, it's quite frightening. She's still very young, fit, nothing wrong, just a little bit of unwell, and then gone. It's like a dream. This is a reminder for us as well, that do not think that we have a long life to live. We have to learn that this life is fragile. There's a possibility of that at any time. And rather than living heedlessly, live mindfully, ethically, and improving or cultivating ourselves towards the liberation. So take this opportunity, remembering her, Gunke Suri Nakarmi. We will be chanting this Abhidhamma and dedicating merits to her in case, in any means, if she is in a position to rejoice, may she rejoice and reborn in a good realms. If not, whoever heavenly beings are there, if they are in a position to pass on the message, may they pass this message on to her to rejoice and free from if she is reborn in a miserable place, free from there to reborn in a good place. So with this in mind, let's do this